Let's talk about selective outrage in politics for this moment. We all know it. Every controversial thing Donald Trump says or does, every tweet, every statement is dissected, amplified, framed as a threat to democracy. Every misstep becomes a crisis. And yet, when it's someone on your team, the rules suddenly vanish. Suddenly, morality and principle and accountability, all the things we're told to care about, somehow do not apply. Let's take Graham Platner, a Marine, an oyster farmer from rural Maine. A rising progressive Senate hopeful, he claims to fight authoritarianism, claims to have moral clarity, to challenge the system of power, and yet he has a tattoo. Not a silly college doodle, not an old forgotten relic, a tattoo that closely resembles the Totenkopf, the death head symbol used by Hitler's SS units. The very units responsible for concentration camps, mass murder, one of the darkest, most organized atrocities in human history. Let's be perfectly clear, that's not a trivial matter. That's not a small mistake you can shrug off, especially the same people who gave Pete Hegseth a hard time for his tattoo. This is not something you can pretend isn't there. The Totenkopf represents death, terror, and oppression. Millions of people died under that symbol. It's the ultimate emblem of authoritarian violence. And yet Platner supporters, many who claim to fight fascism, are silent or even defending him. Meanwhile, imagine a Republican, a Trump supporter, had that same tattoo. The outrage would be immediate. The calls for accountability would be deafening. This isn't about partnership. This isn't about politics. This is just about moral clarity and historical truth. Platner says he got the tattoo in 2007 and that he was drunk. And now, 20 years later, claims he didn't know what that meant. 20 years? 2 decades of carrying the symbol tied to fascism, oppression, and death. That's not ignorance, that's a choice. 20 years of knowing, or at the very least not caring to have it removed while serving in the Marines, a public figure, a veteran, and now a Senate candidate. Let's talk about history that matters here. The Totenkopf, literally a death head, originally appeared in European militaries to signify danger or elite units. But that is not what makes it infamous. It became an infamous symbol when the Nazis, Hitler's SS, adopted it. The symbol became one of the most recognizable emblems of terror in human history. It represented concentration camps, systematic murder, and oppression unimaginable today. Millions of people died under the shadow of that symbol. In modern times, it is recognized as an international symbol of neo-Nazi ideology, white supremacy. There's no ambiguity. That's not just a skull. There's not an innocent explanation that could just wash this away. And yet here we are. Platner carried the symbol for 20 years. Progressive voters just shrug it off, rationalize it, or excuse it. And that's the very definition of selective outrage. It's the opposite of moral consistency. If you claim to fight fascism, you can't embrace someone who literally wore the symbol of fascism on their body. You can't pretend it doesn't matter because it suits your political alignment. History demands we call this out. Moral clarity demands to call it what it is. This symbol, this tattoo, is bad. It's evil. It's not subtle. It's not something minor. It's an emblem of genocide and oppression, pretending it doesn't exist or just accepting it because the person who's wearing it is on your team. It's a betrayal of principle. 20 years is not ignorance. And excusing it for political convenience is hypocrisy. So ask yourself, are you outraged because of the principle or just because of politics? The moment you excuse a Nazi symbol on one of your own and then weaponize the same language against your opponents, you've lost all credibility to lecture anyone about authoritarianism. 20 years of carrying that tattoo is not a mistake, and those willing to defend this decision reveals exactly where your true principles lie.